Alrighty, let's not waste any of your guys' times. Alright, Bulbasaur and Charmander, I would absolutely curb stomp. They would have no chance of winning. Squirtle, on the other hand, I think I would have the advantage, but the thing is that he is a turtle, and turtle shells are pretty durable. I mean, have you ever tried to curb stomp a turtle before? That's besides the point. Anyways, we have Ivysaur. I think with Ivysaur, I think I probably have the advantage. He's still, just a slightly bigger Bulbasaur. Charmeleon, he will probably be a bit more hotter. I think I would probably have a bit more of a hard time. I think it's a stalemate. Wartortle's the same way. I think he's just a even harder turtle. I think he would just be even more difficult to take down. Venusaur, I think it's pretty safe to say that I think he has the advantage. I think he would probably get me real well in a fight. I think he would probably take me down if he had the chance. Charizard, he is basically a 4 foot tall dragon wannabe. I think that he probably would beat me in a fight. Same thing goes with Blastoise. I mean, Blastoise's cannons would literally like evaporate you and probably like kill you instantly with how high the water pressure is. Caterpie, I would absolutely beat up. I think I would win, no doubt about it. Weedle, he would have a hard time against me, but if he were to just sting me once, I feel like I would die from the poison. Um, and then we have Metapod and Kakuna. Those guys literally can't do anything except harden. I mean, they could technically never ever lose if they keep on hardening, but eventually they will lose because I am more durable than them. Butterfree, I think it would probably be in my advantage. I think I would probably be able to rip off its wings and also just like do that. And then we have Beedrill. I'm definitely afraid of super big bees. I don't want to ever see one in real life, so I think I would just lose. And then we have Bird. I think I would beat up Bird. I don't think Bird has a chance against me. Then we have Bigger Bird. I feel like I would probably win, but he might have an ace up his sleeve. And then we have Super Big Bird, which, he probably has the advantage against me because he's like, I'm pretty sure like 5 feet tall, and I'm 5 feet tall, so I can't. No, I'm not that short. I'm almost no. Shut up. And then over here we have Rat. I had to deal with these guys in Chicago all the time. I think I would absolutely destroy him in a fight. Raticate, on the other hand, he's a really big rat. Really big rats scare me, like super big, like the size of like a car. So basically, I would not want to fight him. Then we have Bird 2. I think I would probably beat Bird 2. Bird 2 would probably not win against me. Then we have Super Long Beak Bird. I think, honestly, it can go either way, so I'm going to put him in stalemate. And then we have Snake, like regular old Snake. I feel like the advantage would probably have to go towards me on this one. I feel like he's not big enough to really do anything against me. I know he also has poison, but I'm pretty sure I would win before he could do anything. And then we have really big Snake, Arbok. He would win. That thing is like the size of like me, and I've seen what that thing can do in the anime. It could put me in a chokehold. It could like bite me. It could poison me. And then we have Pikachu, the mascot of the series. I think he would have the advantage because he is just filled with electricity. And little known fact, electricity can kill you. So I think he could probably beat me. And then we have Raichu, who I think would absolutely destroy me. He's basically bigger Pikachu, even more electricity, and I don't want to have to mess with that. And we have Sandshrew. The thing with Sandshrew is that he looks frail, but that thing can basically curl up into a ball and could never, like, let me beat him. And plus, his claws are probably pretty sharp, so, stalemate. Sandslash, basically bigger Sandshrew with spiky back, so I can't even, like, curb stomp him. So we're going to have to put him in I would lose, because I think he would just overpower me eventually. And then we have the Nidoritos. Those guys are basically just like really weird looking rabbits. So I think they could probably lose. They'd probably be pretty, they probably try and outrun me, but I'm faster than them, so I'll probably beat them. And then I think for these guys, honestly, I think they would probably have the advantage because they're just basically bigger rabbits who could probably beat me eventually. And then we have their dad and their mom. I think they would probably beat me. I don't think I would have a chance against them. They are just really big versions of themselves, and they could probably beat me up, so I don't want to have to deal with that. And then we have Clefairy, could probably pull something out of his sleeves that I would not expect. So hopefully he does not. Then we have Clefable. Clefable I feel like would probably have the advantage against me, mostly because it's also such a big guy. He's so big. He could probably beat me somehow, and I don't see myself finding a strategy to beat him. And then we have Vulpix. I feel like with Vulpix, I feel like it could go either way. He is unpredictable. He's a fire type. He's also a fox. Foxes are pretty fierce creatures. I would not want to mess with fox, but in this case, I would. And we have Ninetales, which is basically a really big fox, a mythical fox even. And I think that this guy would probably have the advantage against me. And then we have Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff, a lot of people underestimate this guy. This guy could probably defile you in your sleep by drawing on your face and whatever else you would want to do. And then there's Wigglytuff, who I would absolutely lose against too. If you ever played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, you would know this guy, he's tough and he will kill you. And then we have Zubat. Zubat, I feel like I would win against, even though there's a lot of them. I feel like the only way that they're actually strong is if they're actually together. And they don't learn like an actual good move until like level 18 or something when they get wing attacks. So all they can really do is use a weak leech life on me, which I can just brush it off because I'm just that different. And then we have Golbat, which is basically Bigger Bat, which I feel like could go either way. I feel like with him, he is the equivalent of a guy who could probably overpower me if he really wanted to, but at the same time, I could overpower him if I really wanted to, because you know what I could use? A rock. And he would not see that coming. And then we have Oddish, who's basically just a small plant. I feel like with Oddish, I would probably beat him up. I would probably win against him no matter what. With Gloom, I feel like it can go either way. Gloom has a bunch of aces up his sleeve. He has like that poison powder and stun powder, and he could probably also drain my life force if he really wanted to. This is why I feel like with Vileplume, I would absolutely lose against him, because he's basically a stronger version of that. And then we have Paris. Paris, I feel like I would have the advantage against because he's just a small little hermit crab guy. And hermit crabs are really small, and you could probably stomp on it enough and it'll probably stop. Then we have his big brother. I feel like I would not want to mess with this guy, so I'm going to put him in I would lose. He's basically like a zombie, and zombies kind of scare me, and I don't want to have to deal with that, you know? And we have Volbeat, who I feel like I would have the advantage against, but he's a lot bigger than people think he is. He's like 2 feet tall or something, so he's like a really big bug, and really big bugs scare me. I don't like big bugs. And then that's why we also have Venomoth, who I feel like they would have the advantage against me because, you know, moths are also just freaky to me. I also find them annoying because they'll always fly around. You can never catch them. So I feel like I wouldn't really have much of a chance against him. And then with these guys, I don't see either way going with the trio line, because they would probably just like bury themselves underground and I wouldn't be able to catch them. So yeah, I wouldn't see myself either winning or losing, so I'm just gonna put them there. And then we have Meowth. Meowth, I feel like I'd have the advantage with Meowth. He's just like a really weird looking cat. He's basically like skinny Garfield, so I would probably just like grab him by his tail and probably throw him around like Bowser. And then we have Persian, which is even bigger cat. I feel like he would probably have an advantage against me because bigger cats are probably more fierce. And then we have Psyduck. The thing with Psyduck is that I would not want to fight him because he is just so darn cute. I mean, look at him. How could you not like him? I would let him win because I'm a nice guy and I also like him a lot. Golduck, on the other hand, I would probably be in a fight. He's basically just a really big duck, and I think I would probably be able to like grab him by his tail and probably, you know, just like, you know, like one of those. And then we have Mankey, who's basically just like a monkey. And then I feel like with this, I feel like it should probably be a stalemate. I feel like there wouldn't be any winners or losers in this one. I feel like it would probably be like some form of like a tie between us because we're just both built like that. And then we have Primate, which is basically his dad. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that guy, he's basically the equivalent of fighting Mike Tyson, so I don't think I would probably want to fight him. And then we have Growlithe, who's basically a dog. With dogs, it could go either way with a dog. I feel like a dog can overpower you if it really wanted to, so that's why I'm going to put it in stalemate. Then we have his really big brother, Arcanine. Arcanine is a scary dog. He's really big, and he was supposed to be the third legendary, but then they were like, we don't want a dog. We want all three of them to be birds. So it's basically fighting a legendary, and I don't want to deal with that. So over here, Polywag, I would absolutely destroy. He has no hands, so he wouldn't even be able to fight me. He'd just be able to blow some bubbles at me, and then I would win. Poliwhirl, he has hands, and I feel like he has like a bigger advantage against me, and you don't want to underestimate this guy. I feel like he could probably do some numbers on you if you are not careful. Poliwrath, I would probably lose to. I don't see myself winning against him. I feel like he would probably beat me up faster than you can say yippee-ki-yay. And then we have the Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam. I do not want to mess with these guys. These guys are freaky psychic people, and I feel like I would probably not do well against them. And then we have Machop. Machop, I feel like I would probably win against. He's basically the equivalent of fighting a middle school football player. I feel like I would be able to find a way to take advantage of that and pretty much just, beat him up like a regular child. And then we have Machoke, which is basically the equivalent of fighting like, an adult. I feel like he probably has the advantage because he's like the equivalent of that, but like, probably on steroids. So I probably wouldn't want to mess with him. And then we have Machamp. I feel like with Machamp, I don't stand a chance against him. He's basically Mike Tyson with 4 arms, and I don't want to have to deal with that, And so we're going to put him there. And then we have Bellsprout. Bellsprout, I feel like I would probably win against him. I don't see him doing really much to me besides spitting some acid at me, and I'm built different, and I would dodge that. And then we have Weeping Bell, who I feel like probably has the advantage against me because he's a bigger version of that, and he could probably like swallow my leg. And then if I'm one less leg down, then that's a problem for me. And we have Victory Bell, who could probably swallow me whole, and I don't want to deal with that because I feel like if I were to be swallowed whole, I don't think I would be able to win against him. And then we have Tentacool. Tentacool is basically, jellyfish, and jellyfish can be scary when they are, in the ocean. But if it's on land, then it could probably be my fight. So just to be fair, I'm going to put it in stalemate. I don't feel like anyone can win or lose. Then we have really big jellyfish, who I feel like would probably win against me. Plus, I think he would sting me pretty bad, and I don't want to have to deal with those side effects. You ever been stung by a jellyfish? Not fun. We got Rock. This Rock here, I feel like I have the advantage against. I don't feel like Rock could do much to me. I feel like Rock would probably just be a rock with just arms. Plus, it can't even move. It doesn't even have legs. So what is it going to do? Just punch me in one place? No, I'll just pour some water on it. Then we have really big Rock, who I feel like would probably do pretty well against me. I feel like he would probably try and murder me, so I feel like I would probably lose against him. And then there's Golem, who is just basically really big rock, and I don't want to have to face really big rock. Really big rock scares me. And then we got the horses. I don't care what anyone says, but both these guys I would lose against because I'm definitely afraid of horses. I think horses are unnatural creatures. They have way too much muscle, and their calves could literally crush your skull. And it's that, but they're on fire. And I don't have to deal with both of them. Then we have Slowpoke. With Slowpoke, I feel like I would probably win against Slowpoke. Also because of the fact he's just lazy. He probably wouldn't move around much, and I think I'd be able to just grab him by his tail and just, slam him or something, and he would just die, and then I would win. And then we have Slowbro, who I feel like would probably have a greater advantage against me also because he's basically like a really big version, so I couldn't even grab onto its tail because, look, it even has a little shelter on it. So what am I supposed to do? I guess I just lose. But maybe I find out a strategy, so I'm going to put him there. We have Magnemite. Magnemite is basically just this metal guy who you can't really do much against. That's why I'm going to put him in. He has the advantage. Unless I find out some really weird strategy in order to win, I don't know how I can win. And then there's just 3 of them. 3 of them could probably, shock me to death and probably, laugh at me while they do it. So I'm not going to be able to, face with that. And then we have Farfetch. Farfetch is basically just a duck with a leak. There's really not much you can do with Hatsune Miku's weapons, so I'm pretty sure I would have the advantage against him. But for all I know, this duck has some tricks up its sleeve, and it could probably beat me. But for all I know right now, I think that I could probably beat it up pretty well. And then we have Doduo. I feel like with Doduo, I feel like I would probably have the advantage with him. I don't feel like he could beat me, mostly because of the fact he doesn't have any hands, and You know, I get it, he has 2 heads, but I could grab both of his necks, you know, like, and then, you know, I would probably win against him. And then with Dodrio, I feel like I would probably lose against him only because of the fact they have 3 heads and I only have 2 hands. So, you know, I wouldn't be able to take on all of them at once. And I don't think I'd be able to use my feet because I feel like they're too high up in the air. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and tell them, yeah, you know, they probably beat me. And then we have Seal. I wish I was making that up, but that's his real name. I feel like I would have the advantage with him. I feel like he is just, you know, someone who I could probably beat up if I really wanted to, but I don't really want to because, you know, he's kind of cute. So, you know, I don't really want to do that. But with Dewgong, he's like a really big seal. He would probably beat the ever-loving crap out of me, and I don't think I would want to deal with that. So we're going to put him here. And then we have Grimer. Grimer, he is basically just a pile of sludge that I do not see myself finding a way to beat. But if I could, I would. So I'm going to put him here. And then we have Muck, who I would think I would absolutely lose against, because I feel like the moment I try and like stomp on it, it would like absorb me into its body and I would slowly sink into it. And before like I could suffocate, the poison would probably kill me first. So I'm going to put him there. And then we have Shelder. With Shelder, I would just absolutely just like destroy, because all you have to do is just grab him and go, and then it's just done. It can't win. And then we have a Cloyster, its big brother, and I feel like it would probably have the advantage against me. I don't know. I feel like that middle spot on its like head would probably be a weak point. And then we have the Ghost. With the Ghost, I don't feel like I would be able to do anything to them, so they would probably win automatically because I can't really touch a Ghost. So, you know, Ghost people are out of the question. I also don't like paranormal activity stuff, so I'm not going to mess with that. Then we have Onyx. With Onyx, I feel like he would probably win because that thing is like 50 feet tall, and Onyx would probably just only have to just like sit on me and it would win. Even though its stats in the game are not that great, against the human, it would probably like wipe out the entire human race, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then we have Drowsy. I feel like with Drowsy, he's just a really weird guy, but the moment you like try to avoid his like hypnotic like stuff, I feel like you would probably win, but the moment you get caught in it, you probably would lose. But I wouldn't get myself caught in that because I'm built different, so we're going to put that there. Hypno, on the other hand, I feel like you would have the advantage against me because he's just a much more skilled hypnotic guy, so I don't want to have to mess with that. And then we have Krabby. With Krabby, I feel like he would just like, he's just a crab. So like, what is he going to do? Pinch me? Well, guess what? I have a foot, and he's not going to win. And then we have Kingler, who's even bigger crab. I feel like with Kingler, I would probably lose against. Kingler is like, what, like 4 feet tall or something? And that size of a crab is pretty terrifying, and it is definitely bigger than my foot, so I would not win. Voltorb and Electrode, I would not win because of the fact that they are just bombs. They are bombs, and the moment I even try to touch them, they will probably explode. And if they explode, sure, they die, but then I die. So I'm not going to deal with that. I don't want to die right now, so we're going to put them there. And then we have some eggs. We got the eggs, so I'm going to put them here because they're eggs, and eggs are pretty fragile. So, you know, yeah, just like that. And then, you know, I win. So, and then we have his big brother, Executor, who's a giant tree. I wouldn't do good against a tree. I mean, I could be like Minecraft and probably punch it enough and get a bunch of wood blocks out of it, but I don't think besides that, I don't think I could really win. So I think he probably wins in this situation. And then we have Cubone. With Cubone, I would just feel bad, and I don't really want to beat it up because, you know, it lived a hard life, and it wears the skull of its mom. So I'm only going to put it at, I would have the advantage instead of, you know, absolutely me destroying, because I feel like I would have hesitation before I would want to try and beat it up. And then we have Marowak, which is basically just this skilled guy who has dealt with a lot. He's basically like Sasuke Uchiha, and, you know, he's dealt with a lot of pain in his life, and he's just like a really skilled like guy with his bone. So I'm not going to mess with him, so he's going to probably have the advantage. And then we have these guys. We've got a Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. They're basically the equivalent of fighting a skilled martial artist. And personally, I don't think I would do well against a skilled martial artist, so I'm going to put them there. And then we have Lickitung. Lickitung is this really big weird guy with a really large tongue, and I feel like if I were to just be able to just grab onto his tongue and just like, you know, pull on it enough, I would probably do something. But at the same time, I feel like he would probably just like sit on me and win, so I'm gonna put him at stalemate. And then we have coughing. Coughing and wheezing would probably win, mostly because their gas would probably kill me, because, you know, they're supposed to be the equivalents of going to LA and New York, and I don't want to have to deal with that right now, so we're gonna put them there. Rhyhorn is basically fighting a rhinoceros, so I don't think I would want to do that, so I'm gonna put him in. He probably has the advantage. And then there's Rhydon. Rhydon is not only riding my mom, he is also going to probably kill me, so I'm going to put him here. And then we have Chansey. Chansey doesn't look like much of a fighter, but that thing is so durable to the point where it could probably outlast me if it really wanted to. So I'm going to put it in having an advantage before I probably get tired and probably, you know, exhausted, and that's when he probably takes advantage of me. And then we have Spaghetti. I feel like he would probably not do very well against me. I feel like there's really not much he can really do. I feel like all I would have to do is, like, you know, just grab him and just like throw him a bunch and then maybe untangle his spaghetti noodles, and I think I would win. Which, by the way, what is even inside him? Like, what does the inside of him look like? And then we have Kangaskhan. There's only two things in this world that I fear, and those are death and angry moms. And Kangaskhan is the equivalent of both. So I feel like Kangaskhan would probably beat me up, because the moment you even mess with his baby, you're going to become the food for that baby. So I'm not going to deal with that. And then we have Horsey. With Horsey, I don't feel like there's a lot that Horsey can really do to me, so I think I would probably win against it. I feel like it's also just too small to really do anything against me. Even if it had like poisonous like gas, I feel like I could just like, you know, like stomp on it and I'll probably win. And then we have Seadra. With Seadra, on the other hand, you know, he's a much more bigger seahorse who could probably do more against me, so he probably has the advantage against me. And then we have Goldeen. You know, he has a really sharp horn, though, so that's the thing that, like, keeps me from being, like, yeah, I would win. But at the same time, there's not really much he can really do, because, spoiler alert, it doesn't get, like, anything good until, like, way later. So I think I'd put it stalemate. And then we have Sea King. Sea King would probably have the advantage against me. He's basically a really pretty, oversized goldfish. So I feel like it could probably, you know, bite me or stab me, but, you know, maybe I could win if I had, like, you know, a really, like, big knife. I think I could win. Staryu, I feel like with Staryu, it could go either way. I feel like it's pretty fast and has some pretty unique moves, so I feel like it could win, but at the same time, I could win, because I think I could outrun him and, like, outmatch him a bunch, so I'm putting him here. Starmie, on the other hand, has a bunch of really weird psychic powers, and psychic powers scares me, so I'm going to put him there. And then we have Ash's dad, who I am absolutely terrified of, but at the same time, I'm not terrified enough to want to absolutely try my best to win against him. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like this guy at all. So you know what? I would probably win, mostly because I think my pure hatred for this guy would probably overpower him, and then I think nothing about him would make me fear him, so I think I would just win. And then we have Scyther. I don't think I would have absolutely any chance against. I feel like with Scyther, I feel like he would just beat me in an instant, because he could just slash off my arms with his giant scythes, and I kind of want to keep my arms, so I'm gonna put him there. Jinx on the other hand, I feel like they would have the advantage against me. I feel like Jinx could probably do pretty well, but at the same time, what could they really do besides freeze me a bunch and make me feel weird, because I'm looking at what seems like a human woman who is also not a woman, so I'm gonna put him there. And then we have Electabuzz. Electabuzz, I feel like, would probably win, mostly because it's basically like this like teenage electrified boy who could probably kill me with a zap, because, you know, electricity and humans don't go well together. Same thing with Magmar, except fire. He's basically like this giant guy of fire, and I feel like the moment I touch him, I feel like my arm is gonna burn off, so I don't want to deal with that. Pinsir terrifies me, so I'm going to put him there because he's a really big bug, and big bugs scare me. Tauros, he's basically just a giant bull, and he would probably absolutely destroy me in a fight. He would probably kill me, and I don't want to deal with that. Magikarp, I feel like a lot of people don't understand the idea of how much of a menace Magikarp might be to, like, a human. Mostly because Magikarps are a lot bigger than people forget. Magikarps are like 2 feet tall, and they're like pretty big. So like if you were gonna try and like fight one, that thing could probably like splash on you, and that's equivalent of like, you know, him punching you, and he'd probably get a good hit on you. So that's why I'm gonna put him in stalemate. I don't feel like you could really do much if you have like, if you put him in like his place. I feel like you could probably win. Gyarados, on the other hand, is basically like a 100-foot tall like dragon thing, and you would not win against it no matter what. He would probably eat you, and you know, that would probably be the end of you. Lapras is basically like, you know, Nessie, and I don't think anybody wants to mess with Nessie, so I'm gonna put him in I would lose. Ditto. With Ditto, I feel like, you know, people would think, oh, it's so easy to beat a Ditto, but then people forget it could transform into literally anything. And so it could literally transform into like Mike Tyson if it really wanted to, and it would just like clobber you. So I'm gonna put Pepto and I would lose, because if the moment he turns into Mike Tyson, I lose. There's no way I'm fighting Mike Tyson. We have Eevee. With Eevee, there's not really a lot an Eevee can do to you, so I'm gonna put in I would probably win. But at the same time, you know, Eevee can learn some pretty unique moves, and it could probably, you know, be cute enough for me not to want to kill it, so I'm gonna put it there. Vaporeon, we're not even going to talk about this. I would probably have the advantage. Jolteon, he's really spiky and electrifying, so I would lose. Flareon, he's a fire type. They can't even use fire type moves properly in this generation, so I'm going to put him in stalemate. Porygon is just a weird, like, cube thing, and the thing is that he could I mean, if you ever seen the episode of Pokemon where he gave all those kids seizures, I don't think I would want to deal with that, so I'm going to put him in I would lose. We have Almanite. He's like this really cute looking like a sea creature, and I don't think I would want to kill it, but at the same time it would probably be pretty easy, so I'm gonna probably put him in the eye of the advantage. Then we have his big brother, who I feel like could probably like grab me with his tentacles and like win. And then we have this Isopod right here. I don't think I would do pretty well against it. I think Isopods are pretty scary looking creatures when you like see them up close, especially because they're just so big and like creepily crawly, and I don't want to deal with that, you know. And then there's this big brother with the ginormous size who could, you know, cut off any part of your body, just like Scyther. He's basically Rock Scyther. And then we have Aerodactyl. You know, he's basically a pterodactyl, and pterodactyls are pretty scary in concept. I feel like it would probably win against you, because I don't know how to fight a pterodactyl personally. I don't know if you do, but pterodactyls scare me, so I'm going to put him here. Snorlax, he could sit on me and win. There's no doubt about it. I would probably not win. Even if I tried to beat it up, it would just like it would probably reflect my punches back onto me, because of how just like big he is. And then we have the birds. I feel like with the birds, I don't really stand a chance against any of them, mostly because, you know, not only are they legendary Pokemon, but they're also just like birds with superpowers, and birds with superpowers scare me, so I'm gonna put them there. Dratini, on the other hand, I feel like Dratini can't really do much, so I'm gonna put him in I would win probably, mostly because Dratini is also young enough to where it doesn't understand a lot, so I think I would probably be able to take advantage of that fact. And then we have Dragonair. Dragonair, I think it would be a bit more of a stalemate. I feel like it can go either way between me and him, because, you know, he could like wrap around me and like choke me to death, but at the same time I could grab by its tail and swing it around, you know. And then we have Dragonite. With Dragonite, I feel like there's really no in between. I feel like he would just win. I don't feel like I have any like chance against him. And we have Mewtwo. Mewtwo would absolutely destroy me in a fight. Nothing about this would seem like a good idea. I feel like Mewtwo is equivalent to fighting like Jesus Christ, so I'm not going to do that. And then we have Mew, which is basically equivalent to fighting God. You know, I don't think I would do well against either of these guys. You know, these people are what they are called, you know, the gods of Pokemon, the creation of all, and Mewtwo is basically like the son of God, so fighting them is not a good idea. So yeah, that's my tier list. If you think that I'm wrong in any way, well, too bad. You can go complain in the comments. They removed the dislike button, so I can't even see if you guys actually dislike this, so boo-hoo for you. If you guys want to see me do this with Generation 2, I'd be more than happy to do it. I love to do this with all the generations. And also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because little known fact, did you know that none of you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel?